Chapter 7. Adam. Adam sits on his chair around the table and looks at his cards. A pair of sevens. Not much to go on. He looks up. Ellis sits across from him, grinning. What's he got over there? Up the ante, Ellis says. He puts his bloody Star Trek Voyager comics down on the table. Damn, all your comics? Adam says, surprised. Then he catches himself. Can't let my poker face drop, he thinks to himself. How can he even read Ellis over there? It's hard to tell what he's thinking, especially when his eyes are white and half his face is chewed off. And what's with the lights anyway? Why is everything in here so red? Adam considers his options. He's always envied Ellis's Star Trek collection. They're still very valuable, even with all the blood on them. But he'd rather not lose his own comic collection. Adam doesn't go out like Ellis does, so losing his comics would really limit his options when he's off duty. Maybe he can bluff his way out of this one and still win the comics. All in, Adam says, trying to sound as confident as possible. Ellis laughs, as blood pulsates out of his open throat wound and seeps down his armor. He reveals his hand. Full house. Crap. Time to die, Ellis taunts. He swiftly jumps onto the table and opens his mouth, ready to lunge at Adam. He jumps as he wakes from his dream, sweating. Shit, he says, panting. He notices the color of the room. Red. What the fuck? He mutters to himself. Adam slides out of his bunk. He lives in the cabin next to Ellis's room. What's going on? Adam wonders. Half asleep, he struggles to make sense of the situation. He hears noises above him. It sounds like movement in the vents. Strange. He wanders over to the common room. It's not far from his cabin, and maybe someone there can talk to him, or something. He opens the door. Everything is red, making it harder for him to wake and come to his senses. The movement from the vents continue into this room. A vent falls from the ceiling and makes a loud crash noise onto the ground. A person slides out and flops onto the floor. This is too bizarre. Am I still dreaming? Adam decides to GTFO from this situation and closes the door. He heads back towards his cabin. Maybe if he goes back to sleep, things will be back to normal in the morning. He hears a scream, and a series of loud bangs from the door, which he just shut. Holy crap, that's a zombie! Adrenaline starts rushing through Adam's body. This doesn't feel like a dream. It's too real. The door rips open as it's forced off its hinges. Adam looks in disbelief as the zombie walks into the corridor and stares directly at him. It gives a human-sounding scream. He sounds angry and very determined. Adam bolts it down the hallway, and the zombie gives chase. The zombie continues to give small yells and moans as it pursues him. The footsteps are getting louder and closer, and the end of the red hallway is closing in. Ellis's taunting laugh echoes in Adam's head. Time to die. Adam crashes into the concrete wall at the end of the hall with so much force it almost makes him bounce off and fall to the ground. He steadies his balance, and the zombie smashes into him. It grabs his neck, forcing him against the wall, and looks into his eyes. It looks furious. It pulls back its fist. The situation feels like it's going in slow motion. Is this really happening? Am I really going to die right now? The zombie slams its fist into Adam's chest, with enough force to break one of his ribs. Adam gives out a terrified moan as his rib cracks. Trying his best to ignore the pain, he grabs the zombie's shoulders and holds it back. As long as it doesn't bite me, I might live. It screams at full volume. The fear is so intense, he almost wants to give in and let the monster eat him and just get it over with. Hey, a female voice calls from down the hall. Jessica moves quickly to assist the helpless man. She kicks down on the zombie's left leg, forcing it to its knees and giving her an easy swing. Thwunk! The frying pan again makes a satisfying sound as it collides with the zombie's head. It lashes back with a claw across Jessica's gut. It tears through her waitress's clothes and leaves a bloody 3-finger claw mark in her lower torso. Apparently, this isn't a fresh zombie. Its nails have continued to grow after death, making for some nasty claws. Determined to avenge her former lover, Jessica makes another heavy blow to the zombie's head, disorientating it. She takes a couple more blows to the head until it ceases to struggle, and then one more for good measure. Phew, Jessica comments as she takes a breath and leans onto the side of the corridor. Ouch! She takes a gasp as she clutches her belly. That one took a nasty chunk out of me. Blood seeps out of her. The cut is uncomfortably deep. It's not a bite, so she won't turn, but it could still get a nasty infection, and she's unsure if the local doctor will try to help her or eat her. She looks at Adam, who seems to be in shock against the wall and is also injured. She won't get any sympathy from this man. We should head to the main hangar, she suggests. Hopefully John and the others there made it before the zombies did.